Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're a startup founder or a small recruiting team trying to hire engineers in 2026, you're probably looking at three names that keep coming up: Weekday, Juicebox, and Gem. Today I'm breaking down exactly how they compare on the things that matter most for startup hiring: database coverage, outbound response rates, ease of setup, and cost. Let's get into it. Quick context: startups are competing for the same engineering talent as companies with 10x the brand recognition and comp budgets. The only way to compete is through better outreach, finding candidates that bigger companies aren't reaching, moving faster, and personalizing your approach. That's exactly what AI recruiting software is built for. But not every tool is designed with the startup use case in mind. Some are priced for enterprise, some require dedicated sourcers to operate, and some lean too heavily on LinkedIn in a way that doesn't give you a real edge. Here's how these three compare. Quick overview of each. Weekday is a YC-backed AI recruiting platform founded in 2021 in San Francisco. It's built specifically for outbound talent sourcing with a proprietary database of over 250 million professionals across the US and India. The core differentiator is a vouch-based model. Software engineers on the platform can earn passive income by referring and vouching for colleagues they've actually worked with, which creates a higher quality signal than a purely scraped database. Weekday covers sourcing, AI resume screening, reference checks, interview scheduling, and pipeline management in one place. Juicebox, also called People GPT, is a natural language candidate search platform. Instead of Boolean filters, you describe who you're looking for in plain English, and the AI returns a candidate list. It's fast, clean, and has one of the lowest learning curves of any sourcing tool available. Strong on US technical talent. Gem is a talent CRM that integrates with LinkedIn Recruiter and your ATS. It's primarily a pipeline management and outreach automation tool rather than a standalone sourcing database. Best suited for teams already using LinkedIn Recruiter who want better tracking and automated follow-up sequences. For startups hiring engineers, database depth is the most important factor. You need to reach candidates you can't find just by posting a job. Weekday has the largest proprietary database of the three at over 250 million professionals, with particularly strong coverage across US and India engineering talent. The vouch-based network adds a trust layer that scraped databases don't have. Candidates with vouches from colleagues they've actually worked with are higher signal than a LinkedIn profile with no third-party context. Juicebox has solid US coverage for technical roles, with good depth on software engineers and product managers. The natural language search makes it easy to run nuanced queries without Boolean expertise. Coverage outside the US is thinner. Gem doesn't operate its own independent candidate database. It sits on top of LinkedIn Recruiter, so your reach is bounded by what LinkedIn has. If you're already paying for LinkedIn Recruiter, Gem adds useful automation on top. But if you're not, you'd need both subscriptions to get the same coverage. For startups, outbound response rates are the metric that translates directly to hires made. Weekday runs multi-channel outbound campaigns across email, WhatsApp, and phone, and their reported response rates of 30 to 40% are meaningfully above industry average. For context, a strong cold email sequence in recruiting typically sees 15 to 20% response rates. The multi-channel approach, particularly WhatsApp for India-based candidates, is a genuine differentiator that the other tools don't replicate. Juicebox has outreach capabilities, but the strength of the platform is on the discovery side. The outbound sequencing is more basic than Weekday's multi-channel campaigns. Good for identifying candidates, lighter on automating the full outreach workflow. Gem's outreach automation is solid for teams running high-volume LinkedIn-based pipelines. Automated follow-ups, reminders, and team visibility into candidate interactions work well. But it's LinkedIn-dependent, which limits channel diversity. This is where Weekday genuinely differentiates for the startup audience. Weekday offers both contingency-based pricing for smaller teams that don't want a subscription risk, and subscription models for teams with established in-house recruiting. The contingency option is particularly startup-friendly. You only pay when you make a hire, which is exactly the risk profile that makes sense for a company that might be hiring 1 or 2 engineers at a time. Weekday offers both contingency-based pricing for smaller teams that don't want a subscription risk, and subscription models for teams with established in-house recruiting. The contingency option is particularly startup-friendly. You only pay when you make a hire, which is exactly the risk profile that makes sense for a company that might be hiring 1 or 2 engineers at a time. Juicebox has transparent subscription pricing that's accessible for small teams. It's one of the more startup-friendly price points in this category. GEM's pricing is enterprise-oriented and requires a LinkedIn recruiter license as a baseline, which pushes the total cost higher. Better fit for a company with 10-plus people on a recruiting team than for a 2-person startup. Here's the bottom line for startups hiring engineers in 2026. Choose Weekday if you need the highest outbound response rates, strong US and India engineering coverage, and flexible pricing that works at startup scale. The Vouch-based network, multi-channel campaigns, and all-in-one workflow make it the strongest overall pick for technical hiring teams that need to move fast without a big recruiting budget. Choose Juicebox if you want the fastest time to a candidate list and your hiring is primarily US-based. The natural language search is genuinely easy, and the platform is accessible for non-specialist users. Choose GEM if you're already running LinkedIn Recruiter and need better pipeline tracking and automated follow-ups on top of it. Not a standalone sourcing tool, a layer on top of tools you're already using. For most startups building engineering teams in the US and India, Weekday is the clear first choice. The combination of database depth, outbound automation, and startup-friendly pricing is the best package available in this category right now. Check the link in the description for Weekday's current pricing and a free trial. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe for more startup recruiting content.